Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. Just a simple video here because I'm in the middle of some other project that takes some time. It took a little bit longer than I thought and it's also soon Easter, so next week I'll take some vacation. I'll be gone for 5 or 6 days. So I thought I'd just make this quick video for you then. As you can see, I have an Atari ST at 1040 on my bench, and it is working, and it's currently hooked up to my TV. As you can see, the familiar green background from the GEM desktop or the TOS. But underneath it, there's something else that I want to take a look at. Also, I got this box in the mail recently, so I need to check out what's inside this. It's for the Atari ST. I can tell you that right now. So this is an Atari 1040 STF, and that means it has a built-in floppy disk drive and yeah, other stuff that's a little bit different from the other variants. I'm not gonna go into details about that. This machine was restored a long time ago in a video several years ago, and it's working fine. It's running the Norwegian version of the operating system. However, I recently got this, and this I got as a donation from my friend Robert over in Sweden, and it's an Atari MEGAFILE 30, and that is in fact a hard disk for the Atari machines. This video is sponsored by PCBWay. If you need to have produced your own PCBs, then just visit PCBWay and you can get an instant quote for your own PCBs produced for as low as $5 for 5 PCBs. They also do other stuff like advanced PCB. They do CNC machining and 3D printing, sheet metal fabrication, and prototype PCB assembly, among other things. Also visit their shared project site where you can find a lot of already made PCB designs. So go ahead and visit PCBWay.com and check out their services. I don't know anything about it. It looks kind of scruffy. I don't have the correct cable for it, so that presents a problem. And it's not just any old cable that you have lying around that it uses. And I don't know if it's working at all, of course, so that's something I'm gonna take a look at in this video. If you don't know what the Atari ST line of computers is or was, then I can only tell you that it was the biggest competitor to the Commodore Amiga back in the day, and they're quite similar in architecture and stuff like that. So that's what I can tell you now. Otherwise, I just suggest you ask ChatGPT. The MEGAFILE hard drive was made to be used with the Atari Mega ST line of computers, and it has a similar shape and form. However, it can also be used with regular Atari ST, because this one, at least this variant, has a hard disk connector here, which is the same as this one on the MEGAFILE. It's called MEGAFILE 30 because it has a 30 megabyte hard disk inside, and yeah, while it might have been a lot back in the day, it's very little tiny now today. To compare it in size, you can store more than, like, say 30 floppy disks onto this hard drive, so not a lot. When it comes to the connectors and cable, it's a little bit difficult because it's using a DB19 connector, which is quite hard to find, and not much else used it. And it's some variant of the SCSI, but it's called ASCI, like Atari SCSI or something like that, or a DMA cable. I searched eBay, and you can find cables for it, but they're quite expensive, and probably the connectors are custom made, so not easy to find cheaply. I'm not gonna buy a cable for it until I know if it's yeah, somewhat working or not, but instead I was thinking maybe I can can make some some cable for it some way. I just need to figure out how. One thing I was thinking about was to take a connector like this and just cut it and make a temporary cable for it. However, I currently don't have any such connectors now, so I need to see if I find some old cables or something I can use. This is a DB25, it has 25 pins, while the DB19 only has 19 pins, of course. So if you take a DB25 connector like this and try to get it to fit, it will fit physically if you modify it, or maybe if I remove the screws and cut off some of the shielding, I might make it work. But also you need to check the pinouts and see if they go to the correct connectors in the other end. So what's in this box then, you might ask, and what does it have to do with the Megafile? Well, it doesn't have anything to do with the Megafile, but it's something for an Atari ST. Let's just open it. A little bit of unboxing. So there's one thing you can use shoe boxes for. You can send old retro stuff. This is something I recently came over here in Norway, and it's a lot of boxes with Atari software. Probably most copied stuff, but I thought it'll be fun to see what's on them and yeah, see if they work. There might be some cool games. I see there's no original discs so far. I don't have a lot of software for the Atari STs, so this might be handy. Automation, Chase HQ, California games. Seems like some discs are labeled automation and then number. Hollywood Strip. Fantasy Tree. So maybe this was an Atari user that called himself Automation. Populous. Metal Masters. Megalomania. Cool. I can see Defender of the Crown. Marble Madness, that's a cool game. The world's best copy program. Copy program. This is some demo discs that's used to come with magazines back in the day. Playable demo disc, Baby Joe. Cool. So there's a lot of stuff to test out here later. But first, let's take a look at the Megafile. Yeah, it's quite heavy and big. I mean, it weighs probably like 5 kilograms. And that's probably because it has a big transformer or two inside it. I mean, a hard disk is like this big. So what's all the rest inside? I've never seen inside one of these before. I could obviously Google it, but I choose not to. Let it be a surprise. Very dirty and dusty. A little bit of plastic broken there, but otherwise it seems to be okay. So I think I just... Oh, there's a lot of dust. I just open it up. Yeah, let's take a look at the label. And important information here, yeah, 220 to 240 volts, 40 watts. That's a lot for only hard drive. But of course it has its own power supply, powered by 230 volts. Atari, Sunnyvale, California, and there's a serial number. Maybe this was number 41. I doubt they ever made like 4 million of these, but I don't know. So there's a lot of screws underneath it here, so that's the next step here. Remove the screws, take a peek inside. I guess these screws here in the middle, you don't need to take out. At least these 4 here seems to be something attached, yeah, inside. This one too. Yeah, I just see what comes loose after I remove some screws. So this won't be any repair video or anything like that. If this isn't working, I'm not gonna be able to repair it in this video. With such an old hard disk, there's a high probability that it doesn't work anymore, but maybe it's possible to replace it with a working one or a bigger one. I'm not sure. I haven't really studied a lot about hard drives on the Atari machines. So now I remove all the screws around the edges. Yeah, I removed the screw under there, but still now it seems to be attached in the middle. And there's a similar screw there. So now I removed all the screws except these four, which are different. I think they might be holding the hard drive itself. Yes, that's kind of hefty. There's a fan. So I guess this was designed to look like and have the same form factor as the Mega ST machines, and it didn't actually have to be this big. But we have this huge metal shielding, and that seems to be just these twist locks. Just bend them straight. Might be some screws too. I see screws here and there. I guess this cost a fortune back in the day. And I guess only professional users could afford it. Okay, I took with me my soldering iron. It's a little bit too big for my my bench. All right, yeah. That's really some old school hard drive, ST238R. And there's some controller card there, and you have the big power supply. I thought it had a heavy transformer. It doesn't have that, so it's actually the hard drive that weighs a lot. Let's take a closer look and see if we can see anything wrong here. Yeah, I looked it up. ST238R, it's in fact a Seagate drive, 32 megabytes. Yeah, it has a label here. It shows the error map, so it has from factory some errors that are marked and labeled here. Let's zoom in on that. So I don't have any of these kinds of hard drives in my possession. These were obviously also used in the first PCs back in the day. And it even has the front plate and the LED. Yeah, so it doesn't look bad. It's not so dirty or a lot of dust inside it. I'm pretty sure it's very noisy. It has a green and yellow LED. Then this big ass power supply. What's this? Some kind of special connector or interface. A lot of stuff here. No refa capacitors, so should be safe to power on. No bulging caps either, as I can see. I'll take a further look at it, see if there's some leakage of any kind. So this is kind of strange. You have this loose cable here, and it goes here and just tucked in between there, and yeah, it looks like a temperature sensor. So it's probably to prevent overheating, and yeah, it has a fan. Yeah, nothing looks out of the ordinary. There's a fuse. The hard drive interface looks to be normal. Some interface, there's two interfaces, and then this is the power for the hard drive. Down here it's hard to see, it says Atari power supply, model this and that. 50 watt DC 5 volts, 3 amp, and 12 volt 1.6 amp. I'm sure this was supposed to be glued onto there, but Not anymore. Then we have the controller card. It seems to have a custom ROM there. It's labeled Mega 3060 Atari, copyright 1988. Date codes on chips. I can't see any. Yeah, this has 8830, so this one produced in 1988. There's an additional connector there. You don't see it. Now you see it. Otherwise I don't see any known chips or anything, but there's more under here, under the drive itself. It looks like the card goes all the way to here, under the drive itself. And obviously the whole controller card extends all the way over here. The power supply is on top. It has a separate mounting metal piece there. So that was the visual check. I think I'm brave enough to just simply power it on, see what happens. But just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna move a little bit away in case something blows up. So I'm turning it on now, and then I turn on the power over here. Oh yes, that's noisy, but it seems to be ticking, seeking. Yeah, it's banging. Yeah, it went silent. But the activity LED, the yellow one, was blinking while it started up. So I think it's just waiting for command. So it sounds okay. The fan is spinning, but what you really hear is the hard drive itself. Yeah, and no smoke, nothing said pop or blew up. I'll let it run for a while. Since this runs on mains power, it is of course dangerous to work with it when it's powered on, and even after powering it off can still give you a shock because it has high voltage capacitors. This actually has a red caution text around it, so yeah, just be careful. Alright, let's power it off and on again, just to let you hear the sounds of it. Then on again. Kind of cool sound. Sounds like a jet engine. So let me just turn it on again and see the activity LEDs in work. You have the green power LED. Yeah, so this sounds and operates normally to me. Obviously there can be faults with it still, but I really want to make a cable for it. I just need to figure out how. I have this old external hard drive connector or case like this, which has a TB25, and you can disconnect it here. So maybe I could make something out of that. So I was wondering about this unpopulated connector. It's actually 8 pin headers, 16 pins, and these letters. I was thinking maybe it's an internal ASCI connector, but it turns out it's not. It seems to be like just some test points. So it's probably possible to make an interface go directly to the controller card or something. I mean, this is an MFM drive, and it's this controller card probably converts those MFM signals to some variant of SCSI, which is not compatible completely with SCSI, as I can read, but I think my only option is to actually make some kind of cable that can connect to one of the 2 ports, Would be very interesting to see what's on this hard drive. I could of course take it out and try to find some old controller card for an old PC or something if I cannot connect this to an Atari ST, but it looks alright inside. I'm just going to do some light cleaning, remove the dust, and then I just assemble it again. There's obviously some stuff you can do to make some restoration or improve this a little bit, like replacing the caps and stuff like that, but not going to do that now. I mean, it's an interesting device, but it's not something I will ever be using if I can get it to work, because we obviously have modern solutions nowadays. No need to use big noisy hard drive like this anymore with almost no storage. Obviously there's a little bit of blackness coming off, but that's completely normal. No rust on the cover here, so it seems to have avoided moisture at least. Oh, it's always a pain to get all these metal tabs back into place. Yeah, then just close it up. So sometimes it's just fun to explore something new and unknown without too much information at hand, and yeah, sometimes I like to make videos about that too. Maybe it's not that interesting for everyone, but still I hope you enjoy. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then I hope you will subscribe and like my videos, because obviously that helps the channel to grow a little bit. And if you want to support my channel financially, which is always welcome, then I have the Patreons page. It's very easy to sign up, and yeah, just check out my Patreon page. How do I make a cable? So this is the hard disk out and this is in, so it means you can chain several of these together. I have this. How do I make this go into this, and how do I make this go into the computer? I'm willing to sacrifice this, but yeah, I need to think a little bit more, see if I can figure out and find something I can use. It's just a simple pass-through cable. There's no crossing of any of the wires or anything like that. It's 1 to 1 and 2 to 2 and so on. Problem is there's really no one selling these types of cable anymore. I mean, in local shops you can find like no modem or yeah, serial cables like DB9 and stuff like that, but nothing like this. And I don't have time to order anything. I was hoping maybe you could split it here so that I could maybe take out the inner part of the connector, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So if I then just simply remove one of these bolts, it will probably fit. Yes, it does. So that solves one of the sides. If only I had a parallel cable which was like this in both ends. But then what about this? I need to go from this to this. These are quite thick pins, so you can't really use these the pont wires either. They're too thin. And I don't think you can use like these pin headers either. They're also too thin. Maybe these thicker square pins can fit. Yeah, that actually seems to fit rather good into that contact. So I need 19 of those, but there's several ground connections here, so it's possible I don't need to hook up everyone. And these headers obviously fits nicely into this connector, so maybe I'm onto something here. I just need to see if I have those kinds I used to have, but I used up a lot of those. I only have these thinner variants, the rounded ones. Alright, I think I found a solution that could work. I found another one of these cables going from another one of these floppy disk drives, so I took it out, and they both had the same connector. And I couldn't simply connect those two directly together because they need to be reversed compared to each other. So I found some other connectors, and these wires. I just connected everything up. Now I'm just gonna put some tape. So now I think every 19 pins is connected correctly to each other. Maybe not the best solution, but it should work. Only thing I'm worried about is maybe the cable. Now it's a little bit long, so that might affect the signal. Just checking now that all the lines are connected. So the only thing that happens to the contact when you push it in like this is that you get a couple of bent pins, but those can easily be bent back later. Then on the computer, do the same thing. Need to unscrew that same bolt. It was already quite loose. Make sure pin 1 is the same, pin 1. Yeah, that works. I can buckle it up with this screw too. So hopefully now we have a good connection. Let's see if this actually works. Okay, let's see now. Does this work? I turned on the machine and it's booted. Let me just start the hard drive, see if anything happens on the screen. I'm not really sure what it is supposed to do on the computer side when you connect the hard drive. Now I have a mouse attached and we see a floppy disk and floppy disk. So let me turn on the noisy hard drive. Nothing much happened, but I realized I might have inserted it in the wrong port. This says hard disk in, and I guess that's the correct one then. This says hard disk out, so let's try again. Nope, nothing happened. I'm not really sure if you need to do anything to the computer before you use the hard drive. I mean, like software or drivers or anything. I'm gonna try and reset the machine just to see if that makes a difference. What? 3 bombs? What happened? I have no floppy disk inserted. That actually means address error when you start the machine. I turned off the hard drive now, so maybe I did a mistake with the cable after all. Yes, with the hard drive turned off, it actually booted, so yeah, there is something there. I mean, it might be trying to communicate here. Here's the details about this hard disk connector and pin 1 through 19. It simply says it's connected, all matching pins are directly connected from 1 to 1 to 19 to 19, and that's exactly what I have done. So I checked a little bit more, and yeah, I found that you actually need to connect the in port to the computer, which I did, and I double checked the cabling here, all the pins. I mean, there could be some bad connection. I'm not really sure. In order for the computer to boot from the megafile, it needs a boot sector with a driver on it, which I don't know if it has. And if not, you need a boot disk with a driver on to be able to use the megafile, which I obviously don't have. But with a setup like that, it crashes after a few seconds. So definitely it's detecting that there's something connected to the address bus, I guess. I mean, I think this is directly connected to the address bus since it's a DMA. Actually, right before the 3 bombs arrives, I can hear it actually makes a noise, so it's like it's trying to seek, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit more checking. I just checked that all the ground connections are good and the two devices are connected to the same ground. No issues there, but still there might be a pin that is not connected somehow. Definitely all the pins are correctly connected. I just verified that, so the cable is correct if it's supposed to be like that. I could try to make a boot disk as a last resort to testing this. I just need to figure out how I'm gonna do that. Obviously downloading the driver is pretty simple, I guess, but producing an Atari ST bootable floppy disk and make it boot that driver, that's another case. I need to study that. I was Googling a bit, and I also asked ChatGPT how could I make a bootable floppy disk with the drivers for the hard drive, and it was very helpful and explained what I needed to do. Luckily I have this USB type floppy disk. It's not 100% compatible with a real floppy disk in a PC, but you can use it at least. You can format the disks and copy files and stuff. And also the Atari ST is compatible. It uses the same format as PC floppies, FAT format. So I made this, and now this should be able to boot from the Atari. So this floppy now contains the AHDI driver, and it should be bootable. I just want to test it first without turning on the hard drive. See what's happening. Yes, it boots. Oh, okay. Seems like it said something there about not found or something, and then it just crashed. I don't know. I saw 3 bumps again. Yeah, finally it stopped. It says HADI, hard disk driver, ACSI devices unit 0, not responding, not bootloaded. Okay, now I turn on the disk, then try to boot. Now straight into the 3 bumps like before, so that didn't help. Okay, so now I booted the machine and then I turn on the hard disk. Now it's searching. What? Actually went into jam, but nothing came up here. Let's see what's on that disk. Doesn't have anything. It's just an auto folder that makes it boot, and that auto folder has some driver files. Now bumps away. Just one more try until I give up. In case there's something wrong with the actual machine, I have another one. Okay, let's test with that. This machine actually behaved a little bit differently. It just tried to connect to the hard drive once and then it boots into the desktop. Turn on the hard disk. Nope, bumps away immediately, so it doesn't even try to boot from the floppy. So yeah, that's it. I'm giving up this megafile for now. But wait, I just remembered I have this diagnostics cartridge for the Atari ST. I'm just gonna try it, see if it tells us anything about the hard drive. Not really sure if it has something to detect that. Yes, it has. Sorry about the glare from the lights. It has hard disk write read, DMA port. Let's try that. DMA count error, DMA not responding, fail at cycle. Let's then try the hard disk write read. Abnormal termination may result in lost data. Okay, start. Yeah, bad instruction fetch. So clearly it doesn't want to work. Let me try the Park Heads P. Yeah, I can hear it respond, so it actually responds to commands. I hear it moves the heads. Oh, no, I tried to test the right read and it came with command error instead. Yeah, something else happened here. Unit 0 identification unavailable. Not bootloaded. I selected the park heads from the diagnostics test first, and then it actually saw the drive, but still it bumps, and I actually hear it seek when it does this. Yeah, okay, that's it. This drive is not gonna work now. Maybe a better cable would help. Maybe this introduces too much lots or noise. I don't know. So now I just need to clean up all this stuff and yeah, test some of the discs I got. Yes, I'm just trying some games. I mean, this automation, I think that's a cracker group or something. I see it now on the start screen. So one for Jace HQ. Well, we see the familiar bombs again. That didn't work. Yeah, it seems like some of the discs are unreadable. This one then, it's a virus-free disc. Unfortunately, the cable I have to use now in order to get the audio from the machine, it's not good, so my TV loses a signal sometimes. The other cable had doesn't provide the audio. So it has a few games on. One Guyana Sisters. Needs 1 meg. Nice graphics. So there you have it, the well-known Guyana Sisters. Obviously I played that a lot back in the day on the Commodore 64. Oops. And as usual, I'll die pretty quickly. But it works. Yeah, it's the Atari ST. It has a little bit different vibe to the Amiga, I think. I'm kind of impressed with this machine after using it somewhat. Not a lot. I mostly used the Amiga back in the day and the Commodore 64, as you know. Yes, of course, we have Defender of the Crown. Another cool game I remember from the Amiga back in the day. I go raiding. The graphics, so nice. Yeah, let's see if we find something else interesting. Let's see if we find some applications. This one says PC Ditto IBM emulator. That sounds interesting. DOS for the Atari ST. Oh, it sounds really bad. Yeah, well, there's something. PC Ditto program. Yeah, look at that. Insert a DOS diskette in drive A. Press return to start the DOS. Well, I don't have a DOS diskette handy right now. Well, seems to just hang. Might have been interesting back in the day, but now DOS is dead. At least for modern machines. What is this? Cheese block protection system. Identify this cheese. Is it cheddar? I don't know. This is crazy. I guess you need some code sheet. Okay, it was correct. This is supposed to be Monty Python. Yeah, cool. Extremely silly scores. How hilarious. Oops. Oops. What a silly game. I mean, I love the Monty Pythons, but yeah. I want to try the world's best copy program. Yeah, seems like it's you need disk B. Okay, well, I don't bother to hook up another disk drive. Oh, it needs a second disk drive. Yeah, some of the disks, they just crash the machine. I mean, could be faulty sectors on the disk or something. Seems like all disks in one of the boxes are faulty. International Karate Plus. Cool. I won! Very nice graphics. Alright, I think that's enough for this video. Alright, boys and girls, that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I for sure had fun with this Atari. I couldn't get this Megafile hard drive to work, but I think it is actually working somewhat. Just maybe needs the proper cable, and maybe it could work, I don't know. Always fun to play around with the Atari ST. Hope you think so too. The only thing that remains now is to say thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks to all my patrons.